like to buy, when a customer walks into the shopping mall, what happens is, what is the psychology? What each time that customer wants to purchase. See, now the softwares are being developed, that moment the customer enters in, it will identify. Maybe if you are first timer, it will identify. If it is fifth time you have come, if you are going there fifth time, that software will identify what is it that you like to purchase, and it will give you, links on your mobile that this is placed here, this is placed here, you will be interested in this, and you can walk to that, pick up that product, it will bill directly for you. Such high level of data analytics is coming. But are we preparing our graduates for that? If I have to talk in terms of engineering, so engineering also, the needs are more application driven now. If there is a civil engineer, the civil engineer has to learn various softwares, because the industry is using softwares for all analysis. Structural analysis I don't have to do by doing calculations on my sheet. The drawings I don't have to do using my drawing board. I have AutoCAD software to do those engineering drawings. So am I teaching my students all that? So at present we will say what I can do. University मध्ये syllabus मध्ये जे आहे, we are teaching that to our students. So most of that time, our thought process is कि मला फक्त शिकवायचं आहे. But we don't think कि I can also make my curriculum. I can also develop my own curriculum. So that is what we have to think of. There is deep connection between industry and academia. As I said, if there is a retail market available, are we preparing our students for that? Are we preparing our students for the banking sector, which has completely changed? Now the core banking has come in. Are we changing, transforming our curriculum for that? So then the limitation comes, if you are doing at university level, some of you will be members of board of studies, and you must have thought of it also. But then others in that board of studies may say, my college is far away, my management may not be able to put in so much money for softwares, my management will not give me money to set up a mock bank. Those sort of things, those limitations get carried into your curriculum development. And maybe you have the willpower to do it, but then there is a process limitation. And as I said, exam-centered traditional teaching methods. Just ask yourself, in last 10 years, how much have you changed your way of teaching in the classroom? Anyone who would like to share who has changed his or her way of teaching in the classroom? I'll appreciate if someone of you can share what you have changed in your classroom.
How ICT is being used.
Yes, how you are using in your classroom. I would like how you are using to teach your own course in the classroom to the students.
Is the same syllabus will be taught?
The same syllabus, but sir, what I am saying is syllabus is a limitation. Now you will say university is doing, right? But are you using your innovative power to make a difference in your classroom? So now if you are using ICT, so what is that ICT you are using? Yes, one hand is there. Yes, sir. You can share.
At MBA level, we have introduced practicals and projects to every course.
Practicals and projects. So can you give an example? What practical you have
For
used?
example, marketing, what you are mentioning right now.
Yeah.
For retail marketing, we send our students to the retail shop, tell them to make surveys, take the observations, prepare a report, and present it to the class.
Yes.
So that sharing is there.
Okay. So that's a good effort. Yes.
भाषा शिकवत असताना दिलेल्या पाठ्यक्रमाखेरीज बरेच उपक्रम वर्गामध्ये घ्यावे लागतात आणि त्या अनुषंगाने आम्ही वेगवेगळे प्रकल्प राबवतो. त्याच्यामध्ये शुद्ध लेखन प्रकल्प असतो, सुंदर हस्ताक्षर स्पर्धा असते, सुंदर मराठी स्वाक्षरी स्पर्धा असते, चित्रकला जी आहे त्या चित्रकलाच्या अनुषंगाने ज्या कविता अभ्यासक्रमात असतील त्याच्यावरती आम्ही चित्र काढायला लावतो. तर असे वेगळे वेगळे उपक्रम आम्ही राबवतो आमच्या क्लासरूममध्ये आणि मुलं एन्जॉय करतात, त्याच्यामध्ये सहभागी होतात. त्यामुळे वर्गामध्ये संख्या सुद्धा तशाच पद्धतीची असते.
फिजिक्समध्ये सिम्युलेशन जर असेल, कारण इलेक्ट्रॉन मोशन आपण दाखवू शकत नाही, म्हणजे हे फिलिंग अवघड आहे आपल्याला मुलांना कन्सेप्ट सांगण्याचं. तर आम्ही एखाद्या डायोडमध्ये ट्रान्झिस्टरमध्ये करंट कसा फ्लो होतो, इलेक्ट्रॉन कसे मूव्ह होतात, दॅट विल बी डायरेक्टली टीच टू द स्टुडंट बाय सिम्युलेट.
Yes. So you are using simulation in
Yeah.
the classroom. Yes.
There is PowerPoint as well as video clips and different types of other simulation packages available. Other than that, NPTEL lectures, they are also there. Some part of that from IIT professors also been displayed, and that is being provided to the students.
Okay. Yes. So
पर्स्पेक्टिव्हमध्ये आपला अवघड आहे तुम्ही जर सांगितलं. समजा मी जर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हा विषय शिकवत असेल, फंडामेंटल राईट्स एका आर्टिकलमध्ये म्हणजे आर्टिकल्स भरपूर दिले जातात, त्याचं इंटरप्रिटेशन तुम्ही शिकवत नाही. फॉर एक्झाम्पल राईट टू इक्वॅलिटी, ही 5 आर्टिकल्स असतील तर 5 आर्टिकल टेक्निकल अर्थ सांगितलं होतं, त्याचा प्रत्यक्षात काय अर्थ, काय बाहेर काय चाललेलं आहे राजकारणामध्ये, प्रत्यक्ष काय कृती केली जाते, भारताच्या सुप्रीम कोर्टाचा काय रोल आहे, भारतामध्ये मीडियाचा काय रोल आहे, हे सांगण्याचा प्रयत्न तुम्ही जरी केला तर टीचिंग वेळ होऊ शकतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल 1 पॉईंट त्याला पॅरलल जर तुम्ही इफ यू आर गिव्हिंग इम्पॉर्टन्स ऑफ डिरेक्टिव्ह प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ द स्टेट पॉलिसी, then we can talk about there is a welfare state right now. This is very important discussion. We should discuss before the students. आणि त्यांना तुम्ही थोडंसं टीचिंग जे आता तुम्ही जे ट्रॅडिशनल पद्धत सांगताय, आपण जे सगळे करतो त्याच्याशिवाय तुम्ही त्याचं जर इव्हॅल्युएशन पद्धतीनं शिकवायचा प्रयत्न केला, एस्पेशली इन सोशल सायन्सेस, तर चांगलं टीचिंग होऊ शकतं, विद्यार्थ्यांना ते आवडू शकतं, त्यातले काही विद्यार्थी त्याचा भाग घेऊ शकतात, सगळेच नाही. आणि ते ॲडिशनल सांगतात की सर ह्या आर्टिकलचा आणखी अर्थ काय इंटरप्रिटेशन आपण करू शकतो, ती खरी टीचिंगची पद्धत.
yes. So we have to make sure that the students are learning. जसं आता तुमचा विषय तर त्याच्यामध्ये maybe you can have a mock parliament, you can have a UN session with the students in the class, just a thought process. Shruti, active learning methods. की तुम्ही ऍक्च्युली ते तिथं करून दाखवा, म्हणजे ओके दिस इज पार्लिमेंट, तुम्ही अपोजिशनचे मेंबर्स, तुम्ही रुलिंग मध्ये एक सभापती आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये यू नो गिव्ह दॅट रोल टू द स्टुडंट. सिमिलरली UNO, तर UNO ची कन्सेप्ट मुलांना समजायची, तर ऍक्च्युली यू नो क्रिएट द UNO atmosphere in the classroom, वेगवेगळ्या कंट्रीजचं रिप्रेझेंटेशन. तर सो द टीचर हॅज टू गो one step ahead. So some of you are doing it. I think you can think of one step ahead, that how to involve students, and then the learning will happen. Now what is happening is rote learning, memorization, पाठांतर करणे, रिप्रोड्यूस करणे. आपली मुलं त्याच्यात खूप चांगली, कारण त्यांना तेच शिकवलं गेले लहानपणापासून, राईट फ्रॉम द स्कूल. But then we can't reach school now, but since we are in higher education, let us think of transforming higher education. आणखीन एक मला खूप मोठा जो कन्सेप्ट दिसतो की आपल्याकडे वी आर ऑल मार्क्स फोकस्ड. एव्हरीथिंग इज मेजर्ड इन मार्क्स. दॅट्स हाऊ आवर एज्युकेशन सिस्टम इज. सो इन दॅट मार्क्स कॅन वी हॅव सिस्टम फॉर मेजरिंग द स्किल्स अँड कॉम्पिटन्सीज ऑफ द स्टुडंट्स. वी हॅव टू थिंक ऑफ दॅट. आपल्या सिस्टम मध्ये क्वेश्चन पेपर्स कसे असतात, बाय डिस्कसिंग ऑल बिकॉज दिस इज ऑल ऑटोनॉमीज. Autonomy is how you teach in your classroom, how you set your question paper. आपले question papers कसे असतात? Define, write short notes, explain. Okay, what do you understand? You know, so what does it all focus? If you have heard Bloom's taxonomy, I think you must have heard. Bloom's taxonomy चा किती जणांनी ऐकलेलं? A few hands are there. So Bloom's taxonomy is there are different levels of learning. It talks of 5 levels of learning. It's like a pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is understanding. Okay. First level. Second level is you have to have knowledge of doing it. Then the third level is analyzing it. Whatever knowledge you have, that has to be analyzed. Then there is application. की मी हे जे शिकलोय ते कुठे अप्लाय करायचं, जसं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया खूप महत्वाचं आहे. ईच वन ऑफ अस हॅज टू बी अवेअर ऑफ इट, राईट? सो वेअर इट इज युजफुल टू मी, हाऊ आय एम गोइंग टू अप्लाय. सो ऍप्लिकेशन, असे क्वेश्चन सेट करायला पाहिजे. अँड लास्ट इज सिंथेसिस, ऑर वी कॉल इट एज डिझाईन, की तेच की नॉलेज यूज करून मी नवीन काय तयार करू शकतो का, राईट? सो इफ दीज आर द लेवल्स, आपले क्वेश्चन्स कुठे आहेत? तर फर्स्ट 2 लेवल्समध्ये, अंडरस्टँडिंग अँड नॉलेज. त्याच्या पुढे आपण ॲनालिसिसची किती क्वेश्चन्स टाकतो क्वेश्चन पेपरमध्ये, की मुलाला एक ॲनालिसिस करायला लागेल. जो डेटा मिळालेला आहे तो डेटा त्याचं इंटरप्रिटेशन करायला आहे. ऍप्लिकेशन जे मी शिकलोय ते कुठे अप्लाय करायचं आहे त्याचं काय करू शकतो आपण. जसं मराठी भाषा असेल तर हाऊ मेनी ऑफ देम कॅन गो टिल द सिंथेसिस. एखादी कविता तयार करणे एक्झाम मध्ये किंवा एखादं पत्र व्यवस्थित लिहिणे, एखादा एसे लिहिणे, दॅट ऑल कम्स इन सिंथेसिस. की हाऊ यू कॅन एक्सप्रेस युअर थॉट प्रोसेस, how you can express in the proper words. So if these 5 levels are there, generally our question papers, just excuse me, I talk most with the reference to engineering and mala arts commerce का exposure नहीं है, but what I when I am saying it's with reference to engineering, but I think more or less it is applicable to all. Pattern is same. So we only stick to first 2 levels. And what industry wants? Industry wants higher level. इंडस्ट्री वॉन्ट्स प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स. तो अकाउंटंट असेल तर त्याला प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्विंग स्किल पाहिजे की नाही. ही हॅज टू सिंथेसाइज, त्याला बजेट तयार करायचं आहे, फंड मॅनेजमेंट करायची आहे. ही हॅज टू प्लान फॉर 1 year टू रन दॅट इन्स्टिट्यूट, राईट. वॉट एव्हर रोल दॅट पर्सन इज इन. सो वी आर प्रिपेअरिंग आवर ग्रॅज्युएट्स फॉर ऍप्लिकेशन, फॉर सिंथेसिस, फॉर एनालायझिंग. पण ह्या 3 लेवलचे प्रश्न किती असतात? 10%, 20%. Maximum 70 to 80% questions are, as I said, define, write short notes, explain, understand. So we are not developing those skill sets which the industry wants. So ultimately what happens is the traditional teaching method and the traditional question paper. So the evaluation is also traditional. The graduate passes out with the first class, but then in the market, people like NASSCOM who do the survey give us the feedback that your students are not employed. So this is our concern today. This is our concern area. And no one else can give a solution. If we are into that business of education, we have to give a solution. Right? This is some statistics of approved autonomous colleges as on 15/3/2017. These are the number of autonomous colleges in various states. You can see Andhra Pradesh is one of highest numbers. As you see, these numbers are less. Karnataka has 69 colleges. Tamil Nadu here has more. Highest 175. Tamil Nadu has 175. Telangana is 55, and then others are still lagging behind. Madhya Pradesh is 38. Maharashtra is mediocre, 340. This is the data of autonomous colleges in Maharashtra. As you can see, university-wise, arts, commerce, science colleges, total 7 are autonomous in Maharashtra. When it comes to technology, 17 colleges are autonomous. In technology, more and more number of people are doing it because, as you know, there are problems in engineering colleges. The seats are remaining vacant, so more and more people are thinking of doing different things. Management, board, and physical education, 1. We will go university wise. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada, these are the 2 colleges. North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, Government College of Engineering, Jalgaon is there. Savitribai Phule, Pune University, these are the colleges which are autonomous. Yesterday, Swati Majumdar madam was there, I think. Symbiosis Society's College of Arts and Commerce, Pune is an autonomous. Then Nagpur University, these are the colleges. Then Sant Gadge Baba Amravati, these are the colleges. Shivaji University, Kolhapur, you can see our own cyber. Then GG College, Commerce. BKT has recently become autonomous. Government College Karad has become autonomous last year. We are autonomous for last 6 years. Vajra College, I think 8 to 10 years. And these are the other Marathwada University. So now, what is the concept of autonomy? Why autonomy? As I said, to be able to do things in a different way, because university has a very big number of colleges to deal with, and you whatever you get is something which is designed for masses. But what autonomy will give is self-direction. It will give you freedom to have your own system of delivering the curriculum, designing the curriculum, implementing it, evaluating it, and putting up the results. And that makes all the difference. So it is a self-control and ability to act by its own choice in order to pursue its own chosen objectives. Whatever objectives you are choosing, you have to decide what you want to do. That's why I have shown the keys over here. University is giving you the keys. You have to decide what you want to do. But of course, with the chosen objectives, there are limitations. It's not that you can do whatever you wish to. There will be always representation by the university, and that is to ensure that whatever you are doing is for the good of students. It is a participative model of governance based on continuous evaluation of performance. What happens in university pattern? Generally what we have is directly end semester exam. One exam at the end of semester, remaining all is term work marks. Okay? So what students do is, especially in engineering, they hardly study last 15 days. And engineering is such a branch that it is not to be learned by rote learning. It is by doing. Right? They do practicals, there is term work marks for it. But then, again the tendency is to use shortcuts by the students. Right? How many students do the practicals to learn the real concepts? Most of the students think that practical is again one passing head. Right? So, if there is a continuous evaluation, in autonomy, like what we did, we have in-semester evaluation. Then we have mid-semester evaluation. And then end-semester evaluation. So, in-semester evaluation is throughout the semester of 14 weeks, the student is going to be evaluated on each and every topic. Mid-semester evaluation we have designed for unit test 1, unit test 2. So these three have a weightage of 50%. And directly end semester exam has a weightage of 50%. So the student has to be on his or her toes. Whereas in university pattern there is no formative assessment. The assessment is only directly at the end of semester. So that makes them lazy. That doesn't drive them to study every day. And if you don't study every day, the learning doesn't happen. Then there is freedom to think and freedom to act, but freedom implies accountability and responsibility. As I said, your own curriculum, your own question papers, your own evaluation. Does that mean सगळ्यांना पास करायचं? माझ्याकडे खूप पेरेंट्स येतात. तुमच्या हातात मार्क्स आहेत मॅडम, पास करून टाका. प्रॅक्टिकलचे मार्क्स, प्रॅक्टिकलमध्ये आमची मुलं कशी नापास होतात, तुमच्या हातात मार्क्स असतात, देऊन टाका ना 24, 25 टेक्निक सगळ्यांना. आपल्याला समजून सांगायचं की नो, इट्स नॉट दॅट वे. इफ आय गिव्ह 24 out of 25, does that student has that capacity, that capability, those skills, that knowledge? If that student doesn't carry that, then what is the worth of 24 out of 25? And this is education system. Tomorrow when that student, after passing out faces interview, the committee will say, okay, you have got 90% marks. The expectation of the interviewer will be very high. And if the student, graduate cannot deliver having 90% marks, if the student or the graduate doesn't deliver, what will it reflect? It will reflect on the institute. And that is what is happening now. That graduates, when they are not the market, when they face interviews, and if you talk to those people, those HR managers, they will give you the feedback. Your students cannot perform. Your students don't have basic knowledge. The conceptual skills are very weak. Fundamentals are not good. You know, this is the feedback we keep getting. So it's with responsibility and accountability. माझा curriculum आहे म्हणून मी फक्त 10% शिकवणार. Will that do? It will not, because it will reflect on the graduates which are passing out. So it is with responsibility, it is with accountability. Accountability is very high. Now we can hide under the umbrella of university. University मतलब paper आ रहा है. University मतलब curriculum आ रहा है. Right? When you are answering the NAC committee, those are the answers we give. But the NAC always says to you, what is value addition you have done? If you feel this is limitation, what is it additional you have done? What skill sets you are giving? Then faculty empowerment with continuous internal discussions, debates, improvement for the cause of improvement of education. So you have to discuss with each other, debate with each other, talk to each other. Just before coming here, I was discussing with your Joint Secretary, sir, Dr. Patil. So I said we had a sentence that time, very favorite one. Let us agree to disagree with each other. Because in education, everyone is intellectual. We have doctorates, postgraduates. So everyone has a thought process. And nothing is right or wrong. But then, if we have to do something together, we have to agree to some point. Right? And then only we can move forward. So you have to debate. That's a good sign. We used to have, hours-long meetings, lot of debates. What should be rules and regulations? How many credits to be given to each course? Because I think universities move to credit system. Earlier we had marks system, right? So now it is CPI, Cumulative Performance Index, Semester Performance Index. So now it is measured in terms of credits. Okay. So in autonomous pattern you have to move to credit system, and there will be absolute grading or relative grading. So you have to decide whether to go for absolute grading or relative grading. So lots and lots of decisions are to be taken, and it should be all driven by discussions, so that everyone is part of it. It's a teamwork. Then autonomous colleges need to be innovative. You have to do the things in a different way. You have to make a difference to your graduate. The one who is passing out from university system and one who is passing out from autonomous college. And this National Knowledge Commission, Government of India, in its report 2006 has analyzed the problems in higher education and said most obvious solution